Hi, everyone. I'm Jill Florent. I'm with the Amazon QuickSight Customer Success Team. And today we're going to be going over an exciting agenda that is really near and dear to my heart. Let me see if I can get my screen sharing. All right. So fundamentally, what we're going to be doing here today is really diving deeply into the brand new QuickSight Learning Dashboard. We'll start out with a few logistics just to make sure that, kind of how we're going to proceed through the day. We're going to go for about half an hour. Uh, we'll really try and actually dive deeply into the purpose of the dashboard, how it exists today. Mainly, we'll play around with it and share with you background details on why we've constructed it the way it is today. It's a very open-ended type of learning launchpad that we have created for you. So there's many different ways to navigate, and we'll show you a bunch of different ways to find value and resources that can help to spark your own learning and those of your colleagues. Mainly, we're going to be focused on what's available immediately and what you can do now and what actions we hope that you might be able to take. But we're also going to end with some exciting things that are coming next. And so one of the things I wanted to start with actually was a little bit more in-depth introduction to my own personal background. I've spent many, many years in the world of learning technology. And so I actually personally believe that identity is a really big part of learning. And so I'm going to share some of mine with you. And I would encourage you to be actually thinking about your own way of learning, your goals as a learner, and those of your colleagues that you might be interested in learning and sharing with as well. So my formal background, I got an engineering degree from Stanford. I actually was fortunate enough to work in tech for many years at IBM and Cisco during some of the early kind of PC and networking days, and actually helped hook up a lot of schools to the internet. And so I was super fortunate to be in the learning technology world for a long time. So I believe fundamentally that technology can enhance and amplify learning, but I also want to just state that I think learning is social. And that was one of the main takeaways when I had gone and gotten a mid-career master's degree in learning technology at Pepperdine, which was a really exciting thing for me. That has shaped my current role. I've been at Amazon for almost 10 years. I've been in a very successful ed tech startup. So I hope that what you're going to be seeing and experiencing today is not just something that we on the QuickSight team think is a good idea, but that you really get excited about engaging with and sharing with your colleagues. The concept of learning together and having ideas that really percolate from that engagement that you have with others is fundamental. So my QuickSight experience, I've used QuickSight for about 5 years now, and I would say my QuickSight role that I prefer the most is kind of an enhanced reader. So reader plus plus, I would say. I actually have an author access, but the way that I typically consume QuickSight is by dashboards from the experts who work for me on my team. And I do have global responsibility for enablement and running the community and the QuickSight Learning Series. So hopefully what we're doing is making a lot of sense to you, and we'll be diving into questions in just a moment through both the WebEx and the community. My favorite way of using QuickSight is really actually to track usage and engagement. And so there's a portion of what we do in QuickSight on the admin side of things that allows you to easily track usage. And so because that's so important to me as a learner, I'm actually trying to see if I can become actually more adept at the Gen BI and developer roles. So that's a bit about me, and I'd actually like to try doing a quick poll. So this is a live session. One of the reasons that we like to get together live is so that we can get as many questions of yours answered to make use of the time. Questions are a fundamental part of learning, and getting you answers or having conversations would be great. So we'd love to know which of the user roles or personas are best for you personally. And I'm also curious about what you're most interested in learning today. So those are my beginning questions that we're going to start with. And fundamentally, I want to introduce the topic of the learning dashboard. The driving question we were trying to answer is, how do we simplify the path to more valuable insights and more valuable actionable insights with QuickSight? So you're going to see that what we've tried to do is put all in one place, a curated set of learning resources that we've been building over a number of years. So hopefully what you're seeing is going to help us meet a lot of the unmet promise of business intelligence, where a lot of people who have access to it are not comfortable using it. So we're going to try and help simplify the way that people are able to derive insights from data and then take actions based on data they have access to. And with QuickSight, as those who've been paying attention, we actually have so many new features that keeping up with the pace of innovation is a challenge. So what we're excited as all get out to introduce today is the immediate availability of the Amazon QuickSight Learning Dashboard. It is a dashboard entirely built on the QuickSight platform. So what you see inside the dashboard itself is all something that you could also create. We just happen to have created this as a springboard or a launch pad for interactive learning. And so fundamentally, I'm going to go through a few of the different ways to navigate through the learning resources and find things that hopefully will create exceptional learning experiences for you and your colleagues. Firstly, what you're seeing as you're looking at the home page, and we'll put the link to this dashboard in the chat window as well. But as you see at the home page, it's welcoming you, and we highlight 3 different persona types. The admin, developer, and reader personas are highlighted here because that's where a lot of the best current content is. We'll talk about the author experience as well in a few minutes, and there is an author page. But when you look at the home page, what you're seeing is first that invitation to choose who you are and to get a sheet on our dashboard that is built just for you. Then you're also going to see that there's some getting started videos. And fundamentally, there's no one way to learn. But with the getting started pages, a table filled with learning resources, the persona-based pathways, and even an interactive sample dashboard, that allows learners of all different kinds of personas to either get started and begin onboarding to their first QuickSight experience, or for those of you who maybe are already on your way to go deeper or to learn something in a different area than you've been working with before. So again, when you look at that welcome page, just below the personas, what you'll see is that there's videos that you can click on and a table that actually shows you that we've tagged our content so that you can choose how much time you want to learn right from that first page. So for instance, when you click on, I'm going to go right to the dashboard itself. It's actually available to you from within our community. If you click on Demo Central, there is a page that has all kinds of sample dashboards for you. I've gone directly here into it. You have a 30-minute session whenever you enter the Demo Central experience. And so when you look at these getting started videos, there is a 3-minute short overview. You can actually click on the videos and play these YouTube videos for the first 2. And then you're invited to actually start by participating in a hands-on workshop. So if you know exactly what you'd like to learn, you might want to jump right into a step-by-step guided workshop. One of my favorite videos actually is for someone, if I was just trying to explain what is QuickSight, you could search on the 5-minute length and find this favorite link here. For me, I like this one because we like grilling, and Traeger Grills uses QuickSight.
What we do best at Traeger is support a sense of community.
We are the category inventor and industry leader in wood-fired cooking. And AWS is at the backbone of our.
And so I won't play the whole video, but that's just how easy it is to link from something in the learning dashboard. You just click the link and now you're into a video. I think it's also important to consider that when you are considering somebody who's just getting started and you're looking at, in this case, the learning dashboard, it curates for you all in one place more than 160 learning resources that we have created over time, some of which are very short, some of which are hours long. The workshops, if you were going to go start to finish through the author workshop, it would take you a couple of days to really dive into all of the discrete exercises. But when you're considering on-demand learning resources, there's this concept of acquiring information through either a video or a workshop. And then ideally, the next step would be to analyze, explore, and really dive deep into the content itself, ultimately moving towards applying the learning in some sort of a new context. So with online learning activities, we've provided you in the Getting Started page those 3 key steps. So doing a workshop, playing around with something like, in our Demo Central environment, all the different examples here, we would really encourage you to take a look not just at the learning dashboard, but if you haven't done so before, we have all sorts of samples that you can just play with and gain inspiration. But when we are looking at the learning dashboard beyond the welcome page and the Getting Started experience, one of the things that's very prominent at the heart of the dashboard is our Find a Learning Resource page. And so when we look at the long list of resources that we have, more than 160, each one of those resources has actually been tagged by which persona and what level it is. And so when you're looking at this, this is probably a great place for someone who kind of knows what they've done and what they're looking for. So if you want to be your own agent of finding what you'd like to do instead of going through a list that somebody has created for you, this is a great place to go ahead and filter. So for instance, one of the things that was prompting us to originally create this dashboard that we've really made comprehensive now for all persona types and all levels, whether you're new or an expert, and just trying to go deeper, was our developer community. So there's so many new things that have been coming out as it relates to the developer audience that we started with this in mind. And we kept hearing that like I like to use videos as an intro. I like to see it first and then I like to dig in. Some people actually prefer, hey, I'd rather just have documentation or code snippets. So you can even filter things so that that's all that you see. If you just choose code snippets and documentation, boom, you can filter it down and just see that kind of piece here. But looking at really how we have built out the persona pages, I will say that the developer page we'll dive into here just for an example, but the thing I would love for you to be thinking about as well is, you know, what learning activity has made the biggest difference for you personally, or what might you be learning next? And I would actually invite you to consider sharing that either in the chat here, or when we're considering looking at the way that we interact from any of the pages, you'll see that we can go out to the QuickSight community, because that notion of sharing what you're trying to learn or what you have learned with others, it's such a prominent thing. We see literally thousands of questions in the community that have actually a unique question and answer pair. So if you get stuck and you need an answer, this is a great place to go and learn with others. But also, as we consider the learning dashboard, I would invite you to start using the community to thread a conversation about what you're learning and how to learn with other users of QuickSight. So kind of a new concept there. But when you look at the persona pages across the top and specifically look at the developer page, what you'll notice here is that there are very specific examples, an interactive dashboard that you can explore at the top. You can go in and see on our developer portal, we actually do provide really in-depth examples of, oh, hang on here. We provide in-depth examples of not just what the screen looks like, but what the code looks like, and you can cut and paste that and just basically build upon it and really explore that. So going from top to bottom on the persona pages should help you to really land at a place where you've gotten yourself to the point where you can actually implement that first getting started chunk with QuickSight. I'm going to make a quick note on the author piece before we move on too much. So we talked a little bit about the learning resources page, and with the sample dashboard, which we're going to get to next, I think that there's really two ideas that we had here and would love to hear from others how else we might want to be thinking about this. But we thought it was important that you have a place and that we have a place to share with you examples of some of the most recent features, as well as what your completed author workshop experience might look like. So if you are just looking at the learning dashboard that we have available to you, for many people who have already used a BI tool in the past, they're going to jump into the author experience. And there's a 1 hour getting started building your first dashboard. But if you want to dive deep, you'll do the author workshop with several guided steps. And within your account, when you're looking at the author workshop experience, the dashboard workshop would get you to a place where you have built several of these different chart types. And so by seeing what it can and should look like here, you can really compare what you've done to what you're able to see and explore here. There are some changes coming very soon to our author experience, which is why I would encourage you to think about playing with the existing resources here, but just realize that there is an important blog post that we have posted that will be updated in November in the product, so you can begin preparing for a simplified and much more streamlined experience. But I would like to also share with you what we're thinking about next, because there's a lot of top discussion about generative AI and for QuickSight generative BI. So we are in a public preview right now that if you have QuickSight Enterprise Edition, if you have the Q add-on, and you are in either US East 1 or US West 2, you actually can go in your own QuickSight account and get access to what we call generative business intelligence. And so there are a couple of specific items that we will be updating shortly on the learning dashboard within the next 2 weeks, which allows you to see all in one page what people are doing with generative BI. And one of the prominent things that you can do today using that public preview is use QuickSight Q to actually build visuals for you, to update visuals, and to create calculated fields that you can add to analysis. And so this page will be added shortly to the learning dashboard. And what I will highlight for you is this spectacular example from one of my colleagues that when you're going through the author workshop as it exists today, that generative BI and the new capabilities that are in preview currently allow you to simply streamline the steps from having 8 or more clicks in 4 specific steps that would take 5 minutes today. And you can build that using Q. And literally in one sentence and 2 clicks, it takes 20 seconds to build the KPI visual that today, when you're going through those getting started steps in the author workshop, we guide you very specifically step by step. And so it's pretty exciting to see what is possible today as well as what is coming. So all of the resources that we are seeing here are available today, with the exception of what I just showed you on my own QuickSight dashboard. So I'm showing you this piece. It is all possible today, but the documentation is in a few different places, all accessible from here in a blog post. But this dashboard will be updated, and that's what we've got coming next.